Have you ever buzzed the tower?
On cruise, every now and then we're able to, but normally no.
Oh, okay. What other type of flying would you like to try?
I think coming to a place like Sun and Fun, you see so many different kinds of aircrafts, whether it's your standard Cessna, Bonanza, something like that, and then you see all these experimental aircraft as well. And I think going up in some of those experimental aircraft would be pretty neat.
Okay. What in the world would you do if you had to sneeze during a flight?
Figure out a way not to. Think about something else. We fly too close to be sneezing while we're up there.
Okay. Got to stay safe. What is the best part of being in a high-speed air show?
Well, I guess as far as the flying aspect of it, I think we're very fortunate. We get to fly in a lot of regimes of flight where normally you'd probably get in trouble. Flying upside down at 200 feet is generally frowned upon unless you're operating under an airshow waiver. So getting to really push the edge of the envelope is pretty neat.
Yeah, that sounds cool to me too.
Absolutely.
What was the scariest flight you were ever on?
Now I've had some really, really dark nights trying to come back and land on the aircraft carrier. I can remember doing some carrier qualification where it's pitch black. There's not a light out there. There's no moon in sight, and the back of the boat is just bobbing and weaving, pitching all around. And I was like, oh man, I got to go land on this thing. And so some of those nights can really get after you. And when you land and you stop, you realize that your knees are shaking, and there's nothing you can do to stop them from shaking.
Yeah. And you didn't notice it while you were flying?
Nope, not at all.
What's your favorite maneuver in the air show?
I think my sneak pass. I get to come from crowd left down about 50 feet at about 0.96 Mach, so just shy of the speed of sound, and try and rattle the crowd a little bit. That's a pretty impressive maneuver.
That sounds like a fun one. What's it like to break the sound barrier?
So breaking the speed of sound, you really can't tell. Well, obviously, we don't do it during the show, but that's something that we can do out in training. But yeah, you can't tell. It's, all of a sudden you're going 0.97 Mach, 0.98 Mach, 0.99, then Mach 1, Mach 1.01, and it's a very smooth transition. Sometimes when you decelerate, there's a big slowdown when you decelerate back through the speed of sound to subsonic, but you just feel the jet kind of slow down. And then it smooths out. But as far as you don't hear anything, you don't hear a sonic boom or anything like that, that would all be behind the jet anyway. Okay. So yeah, you really can't tell.
Okay, cool. What is the thing that surprised you the most when you became a Blue Angel?
The thing that surprised me the most, probably just our ability to connect with the public. I think a lot of people aren't aware that the Blue Angels are part of the Navy. We're made up of Navy and Marine Corps pilots. A lot of people just assume that we're part of another service, and then also a lot of people think that this is all that we do, that we are airshow pilots. But we come from the fleet. This is a normal tour of duty for us, and then we're going to go right back to the fleet when we leave here. And I think that surprises a lot of people.
Interesting, yeah. What inspired you to join the Navy?
When I was in high school, I wanted to be a doctor. I had no idea that I wanted to be in the military. I didn't know anything about the military. And I think that's one thing that also surprises people is none of us come from families that, have a history in the military. You don't have to have your father, grandfather, uncles, aunts, all this stuff that have been in the military. And I think that's a common misperception from people. But so I wanted to be a doctor, and then there was a recruiter who came to my high school, and I was just curious, so I just went up to him and started talking to him. He was actually a Marine recruiter. Started talking to him and just asking him questions. Because, again, I didn't know anything about the military, and he happened to mention something about the Naval Academy, and I went home and I looked it up on the internet and I read about it. And the more I read about it, I saw this fantastic opportunity to get a great education for free, and also serve my country afterwards. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. So that's why I joined.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, thank you.
Hi, what's your name and rank?
My name is Willis Munger. I'm an AME 1 with the Blue Angels.
Great. What is your job with the Blue Angels? What do you do?
Right now I am with Quality Assurance. I oversee an extra set of eyes on any specific jobs that anybody is working on, just to make sure it is safe and nothing is out of place.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
I have been with QA for almost a year now.
Okay. How did you get selected for your job?
With the Blue Angels, there is a process for application to become part of the Blue Angels. What I did was I saw the message where they were hiring and what rates that they were wanting to receive. So obviously my rate was one of the rates. So I put my package together, sent it to the Blue Angels, and then came down and interviewed with them. They went through a selection process, and I got a phone call saying that I was accepted.
Great. And we all are wondering around here, what is the blue thing that's on your belt right here?
That is our door tool that we use to access doors on the aircraft.
Will you show us how it works?
I suppose I could. All you do is slide it in, and it's an Allen key, and all you do is just turn it, and it unlocks our doors.
Got it. Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome.